Ooh, your boy Za coming in hot right now. I know there's probably a lot of people probably looked at my post and just thumbs down it from the gate. They ain't even listen to it. They just felt like, you know what? Here's another chauvinistic pig. You know what I mean? Thank you to Kevin Samuels for doing an excellent video on this whole Tommy Lauren, because that's exactly what it's about. Now, I did a title that directly mirrored what she was saying, except mine is sarcastic. So don't before you get your pennies in a bunch, or some of you softies feel like I may be overstepping my boundary. Understand, we are all entitled to speak on exactly what we want to talk about. Now, the whole thing with Tommy Lauren, even though the way she did it was wrong, I understood what she was trying to say. She just said it in a way that may not been too receptive to people. And when I mean people, like on Kevin Samuels' video, he talked about black women have been doing this for years. The dogging us out, saying certain things, blah blah, manning and teaching it to their kids and their kids' kids and their kids' kids and then their forebears' kids and all that. And so it's been an ongoing thing. So people, anybody that really grew up in a black family, know that that's just something that comes with the territory. Your daddy, but it's just one of those things. Now, where Tommy Lauren messed up and Kevin Samuels had pointed out is that when she said it, a whole different demographic took it different. And when it comes down to like real power in certain areas, she angered the wrong people. He used Brads. I'm not going to use Brads because I think that's, it sounds racist. I'm just going to say Caucasian males and other, she offended them. And when they got on her, now she's retracting exactly everything she said. So when I put the title, Every Woman is Trash, it wasn't necessarily to say every woman is trash. It's to say some of you are trash. Your expectations of what a man should have and what he should bring to the table is not exactly where it should be. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're one of those females or women that you making six this and or you're a corporate raider or somebody that's just of the upper echelon, and I expect a guy that comes along that's trying to woo you and sweep you off your feet, he should be somewhere close to that. Maybe I can't really see a corporate lawyer dating a mechanic, and that's not to say that it doesn't happen, because I know it does. It's just one of those things. Love is love, and you fall in love with who you want. So but realistically, it's like, no, you're a mechanic. You're not gonna get this female unless you bring in something greater than her or somewhere close to the table. So I understand where Tommy Lauren was going when she said that, but it's pointing out something. Ever since this whole feminist versus the masculine, it's like it's been an ongoing war, and for the most part, Tommy Lauren thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna be able to get away with it, but she just saw where the real power lies. Like, I know, a lot of people get on here and they deal with their feminine energy and, this and that. That's not going to be tolerated. And we've been, uplifted and liberated. Bravo! Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to take it back to the caveman days. I'm just saying, like, there's some things that females do nowadays that makes absolutely no sense. It's like, you don't need us, but yet when you're in trouble, we're the first people you run to, because you're not going to run to another female and say, hey, protect me from this dude that might be, or not. You're going to run to either your man, your brother, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I find it hypocritical a lot of times when females get on here and say, like this one, man, and it's understandable. It's coming from a point. She says that, it wasn't because, her ex-fiance, she said she's good with him, or like her ex-boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend's boyfriend, or, what I'm saying? Like she's good with them. So that's not why she chose to make the video. But if you look at her older content, it never really touched this level of, but her whole angst and frustration towards men, like, look at me and my friends, or like what she say, they're tan, they're we're blonde hair, we have this, we have jobs where we don't, we're looking for this, and if you can't bring it to the table, like basically if you're not on my beck and call 24/7, like you need not apply. Oh, I got people in my DMs 24/7, and they're asking me like, hey, what is your friends like, what do you need to get somebody like you or your friends, and like, so she gives out this whole manuscript of what females should be like, and what they should not go for and accept, and the whole thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. In most cases now, it's like you do. if you're a female, you do have to ask, like, hey, okay, are you in a relationship? I mean, currently, you know what I mean? Because, some men, we do like to play around with, not necessarily play around, but like as far as like wordetry, you know what I mean? Well, when you're single or you're not married or whatever, you tend to play that wordetry. It's like, well, oh yeah, this and that. You word it a certain way so they don't necessarily catch on. But and to be honest, there's a lot of females that they don't care. I mean, you could word in a certain way, they already know what you're talking about, but they don't care. They're still gonna pursue you. That's why when I heard her whole rant on, and it wasn't even a rant, she was just trying to lay out her manuscript. What women should get involved with and what they shouldn't get involved with. Which makes absolutely no sense. I'm about to sit here and burst your bubble. I'm about to burst a lot of people's bubble. Here I am in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my teeth missing. Aging, gray hairs. Don't got the best job. But at the end of the day, it's like I've never been incapable of getting what I want as far as like when it came to those of the female persuasion. Like, And a lot of us that have been, down, and never really, I mean, not never really, but, we're at a point in our life to where we really don't have what we should or we feel we should. So we're constantly striving to get to the next level. And there's some of us that have obviously no drive and still will get that woman that most men dream about. You have men right now that ain't, you know what I mean? They ain't doing nothing. They living off SSI, but they still happen to get that one female that would be considered the upper echelon. And don't get me wrong, it's like, okay, some people, it all depends on where your value lies with the female. Some men will praise a female that's a nurse. For a lot of us, that's a step up, you know what I mean? Especially for the type of street urchin we were. It's like that's a major step up. She's a nurse. And then there's some of us that are just low life thugs that end up with a doctor, and you know what I mean, and we don't necessarily have to interact with all her friends. It's just like all I'm saying, like the capability wise, there's a lot of us that the tongue is so swift, and I'm not talking about sexually. It's so gifted that we're able to get those type of females that these dudes only wish they have. That they got to use money in order to get, you know what I mean? If you look at a lot of cases, you got these females that are chasing these cats that they consider in the upper echelon, but in the cut is cats like me that are the ones smashing while you're paying for all her car notes. And that's not to say me, but I'm just, in general, in a lot of cases, that's exactly what happens. Like when people, this is no shot against the Russian, but like, when I was busted, there was a guard. He said that his friend had, had got some overseas wife from Russia. Come to find out, like that, when he finally did get her over here, some dude showed up at his door and said it was her cousin, but this turned out to be her man. It was like a whole different thing. He ended up, getting rid of her, sent her, had her deported back to Russia. But he was in one of those situations where it could have went any way. If dude would have been one of those violent type, then you know what I mean. But as far as like, I'm not gonna go into whether he was being extorted or whatever. I'm just saying that he had another dude living in his house and he couldn't do nothing about it for a while. But you see what I'm saying? That I use that to point out an example. Like you have chicks like this. I mean, females, women like this, Tommy Lauren, that think that what she says and what she feels should be the ongoing norm and the standards for getting these type of women means absolutely nothing to the males. Like it's like women, like it's funny that women like her and a lot of the people that have passes that you may not know about their past, but most females have a past and they're not, exactly spring chicken. It's like, these women are, they've been ran through, they've been through multiple men. Even the ones you'll find these, if you look, you'll find some chicks that are, you'll see them and you're like, man, this female is bad. And I'm not talking about, heavily makeuped, but I'm talking about natural beauty. But she walking around with diseases because it wasn't hard to get her in the first place. And that's the thing. Like nowadays you see women that are of that caliber. They're the biggest whores in the world. Like I won't even go into the whole cuckold thing because I've ran into people in that situation to where, you know, you had this old dude and then you got this gorgeous his wife, but yet he's looking for this dude, which is a bull, to be banging her out. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's like, you know, that's all I'm gonna say on that. You know what I mean? So when you see the title and you're like, you want to, you know, cancel my channel because you feel like I overstepped my boundaries, I'm saying it's sarcasm. But I did need to point out the fact that you guys are not beyond being cheated on. You're not beyond being somebody's play toy. You're not beyond anything. You can have all the money in the world. It's a proven fact. You have all the money in the world and still don't be shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is. You got these famous porn stars. Of course, if you take away the sexual part, it wouldn't matter. To most men, you are a means to an end. That's always been like my whole thing. Like, I could be with the baddest chick, but at the end of the days, if I had no feelings for her, it was just a smash and get on and run off. There's no emotions conveyed through anything. There was no, you know, combining of the souls. People like to use that. Oh yeah, anytime you sleep with somebody, you're soul tied. Man, most chicks that I gave two fucks about, it was just what it was. And the ones that made the lasting effect are still around. Hence, I mean, I don't got a ring on, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like you end up with a certain person regardless. And a lot of the people that I've been with in the past weren't to me. It's just, and get on about your business. And they know it, you know, and some are still jaded by that fact. And then, you know, there's some that have made not many, have made a slight impact, some more than others. But at the end of the day, still didn't compare. So all I'm saying is like this. It don't take a guy with a gang of money to get chicks like Tommy Lauren. A lot of these chicks be on the side dealing with scumbags anyway, you know, such as myself, or how it used to be, and go home to the dude that's making major bucks and he putting her in the Rolls Royce. I mean, it goes without saying. So that's all I'm gonna say, man. If you look at the title and you feel some type of way about it, it was a joke. Not for all of you, but for most of you. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Now, if you want to see, you know, some real truth, go to Kevin Samuels. They say he's chauvinistic. I say he's just pointing out, you know, people like, hey, it's like he said Tommy Lauren was a 6. I mean, I agree. I mean, she's a 6, but an 8 with makeup. You know what I'm saying? Without makeup, she probably a 5. You know what I mean? And that's not to be harsh, you know, to my conservative, but it's just, it is what it is. Like, you know, a lot of people see blonde hair, blue eyes, or blonde hair, hazel eyes, and they're like, oh my God. But then when you really look at the person's face, you're like, how long can I stand to look at that every day? Like, and for the people that are you know, thinking about getting married, it's like, man, like, could I really wake up to that every day with no makeup? That's why it takes a special type of woman to hook a certain type of man. You know what I mean? It's just like, and they don't have to. If you notice, like, you see a lot of females, they get on here and they hate, oh yeah, he left me for that. Like some, you know, some little vagabond boogerwood that you, I mean, you know, that like some chick that they consider below them. Like, oh, how do you end up with her? It's because there's things about that particular person that he liked. It's like when you see a dude cheat, they don't always cheat up. Sometimes they cheat down, but to them, it's what you need to understand about males. The majority of us don't really care. It's not about this. It's not about a personality. It's just what it's gonna be like. You know what I mean? It's like when you see you see an ugly chick, but her body is like a 20. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of them. The body's like a 20. He not thinking about her face. He just thinking about that body being a 20. Right now, I can point out some chicks right now that their face are just, you know what I mean? And I ain't perfect. You see, I got missing teeth, but that comes with age. You know what I mean? But their face be garbage, but they body be like a, you know, like a 13. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's still not what's gonna hold you. Look, some of you women just need to like slide back a little bit and just, you know, understand that regardless of what you have, there's nothing special about, you know, what you got. Like most of you, you've been ran through a lot of times, so it's like, okay, And I sometimes, like, when women, they like to bash men, I wish that God could have put like a dot with a name for every dude that you've been with. You know what I mean? Because I can guarantee you should have looked like you got smallpox down there. Real talk. I ran into, oh, I'm a virgin. You're lying. You're, you're, what do I look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, get on board with it. But that's all I'm saying, man. I'm not saying all women are trash, but there are a lot of you that are. You know what I mean? You can have money, status, whatever, and still be trash. Hence women with major money and multiple partners. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my money allowed me to do it. No. That's all I'm going to say on that, man. This video all over the place, but I just wanted to point that out. I seen the video, and of course, that starting my podcast, I want to be able to just really, and don't get me wrong, don't think that this is all about me bashing women, because I'll bash dudes too. I'll bash politicians. I have no problem with porn stars. I have no problem with people that are sex workers. You do what you do. You know what I mean? But don't come on social media and act like you're like that one female that's like God when you're not. There's a lot of it you're just not. I'm not calling you queen. You're not my queen. You don't act like a queen. And for enough money, you put your ass on every syndicated show you can, just with no care. But you want me to call you a queen? Like oh, Jesus, wake up, man. I can't look at this. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna end. I can't wait to put my podcast. There's gonna be so many people hating me, and there's so many people that be like, "Oh, you wait for the Illuminati and all this other bullshit." Nah, it's just what it is. Like me, Zod, aka Wicked, aka Black. I have no problem telling you what the fuck you are. Like it's just what it is. And I'm not like a 10. I'm like a 13, lacking some teeth, but I'm still like a 13 at my age. I'm just saying, but I'm sweating right now, so that brought me down to a 10. But anyways, man, don't take the title serious. And if you try to cancel my channel, you're a dick. Straight up. On that note, I'm your boy Zod, and I'm out.